Newsfirst, Newsline with Faraz, Shauketaly.
And very good evening to you and welcome to Newsline Live. Now, there's a lot of controversy about a Member of Parliament, Ranjan Ramanayake, who's now apparently not a Member of Parliament, and there's a lot of controversy about that. We've got one of his colleagues from the SJB, Mr. Harshan Rajakarna, who's here with us this evening, and will express some views on that. And if you want to send us any questions by SMS, 0772 300 305, and try to send it by SMS. In the meantime, Harshan Rajakarna, very good evening to you.
Good evening.
Nice to see you and so on.
Lovely seeing you.
And what's the problem, Ranjan Ramanayake?
Yeah,
why should he be any different?
No. Unfortunately, today, the Parliament yesterday, they have informed the Election Commission that his parliamentary seat is being vacant, simply because he was absent in Parliament for 3 months.
Right.
So we did appeal to the Speaker many times to allow him to come to Parliament, since he was going to appeal. So unfortunately, the Speaker, which I think that he should have given him the opportunity.
That's your personal view?
My personal view, because previously, now Mr. Premlal Jayasekara, who was convicted as a murderer, he was allowed to come to Parliament when he appealed. But we have seen in the past, Sarath Fonseca, Member of Parliament then, was not allowed when he was on appeal. So it's unfortunate that...
but let's make it clear. Sarath Fonseca was permitted to come to Parliament until such time that he was convicted.
He was convicted by a court.
By a court.
Which he appealed.
Which he then appealed. So what you're saying is he wasn't permitted to come to Parliament during his appeal process.
Right. Premlal Jayasekara, now in this Parliament, after he was convicted, lifetime imprisonment, I think, he went on appeal. Now, because he went on appeal, he is allowed to come to Parliament. So that is not the case when it comes to Ranjan Ramanayake.
Are you suggesting then that the Speaker Yapa, is being partial and one-sided, or
100%? Unfortunately, I believe Ranjan Ramanayake, if you talk about the judgment, I'm not going to go into details because I might be the next one in line.
Well, you are able to discuss judgments,
certainly,
but as long as you display zero malice,
absolutely,
and so on, and
so
you can't
with due respect, I think that it was a bit too harsh, the judgment that was given. However, I mean, we have come across many instances where, especially in India, when contempt of court, when you were guilty, you were charged 1 rupee. You do have that law, but you don't take it very to this level.
But of course,
at the moment, we have to really look into that, because you can even give life imprisonment.
But Mr. Ramanayake suggested that various members, I think this is me going right down to the end now, okay? And so I'm not going much further than this. But it appears that from what they say, that Mr. Ramanayake made these allegations against the entire process and said that they're all corrupt. And just to make matters worse, he also repeated it again during proceedings outside.
So I don't agree with Ms. Ranjan Ramanayake when you say that the whole process, whole system,
that's what he said.
Yes, whole system is at fault. But I mean, even though he did say these kind of things, I don't think this ruling or the judgment should have been this harsh.
Right.
So
Do you think, just to put the ball into play to the other side, do you think that there is a possibility that people got fed up of constant haranguing and allegations, these are, after all, allegations, and they got fed up and thought, listen, this is too much of a joke now, and we need to put our foot down, because otherwise it's going to get out of hand and people will just start saying all sorts of things. As it is, as you know, Harsh, we have a immense problem with so-called yellow journalism, and on social media and the .com boom now, and some of these sites you can't trace because they pop up out of nowhere and they have no person who's accountable and so on, not like stations such as this where we have licenses and there's an accountability process. So do you think that it is possible that they just thought, look, this is about a few steps too far, and Ranjan Ramanayake ought to face the music?
it's a bit of a grey area, isn't it? It's conflicting with the freedom of speech to you putting the judicial system down. So it's a grey area, but I believe that you should have the freedom of speech, but also you should be responsible when you're saying. So I don't agree on everything Ranjan Ramanayake said, but I believe that he was a guy who actually trying to fight against a corrupt system, corrupt politician, corrupt officers. So he was trying a lot to.
Do you think he himself was the opposite, that he was not corrupt?
I'm sure nobody's perfect in this world.
Right.
But however, comparatively, I believe that he was a better person
than some of the others.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. But as a party, now what are you all going to do? You've apparently exhausted the appellate process.
Yes. So it's a limited thing that we can do with the current situation. So we have tried the legal system. We have tried the appeal process. We are going to further appeal regarding Ranjan Ramanayake's situation. But I believe that the next in line, the name of the next in line, the candidate Sajid Mana Perumal is gazetted, and I think he will come and take oath tomorrow. So
what about him personally? Do you think he'll feel odd if as a party you all don't agree with what has happened? But do you all agree with what has happened? What is the contentious part?
No, I mean, we don't agree on what happened. But
you don't agree about the verdict, or you don't agree about the sentence?
Both.
Oh, okay.
Both. However, so we welcome the next.
Of course, you were talking about the highest court.
Again, another colleague of mine, and we have to, even though we don't agree, we have to respect the judicial system in this country.
Do you think this Mr. Mana Perumal will sit in his own name, or is he going to change his name by deed poll and become another Ramanayake?
I had a conversation with him and wished him all the best.
Right.
So, I mean, but we are still going to keep fighting for justice of Mr. Ranjan Ramanayake. So he has lost his parliamentary seat. We will go to courts once more and hope that.
What other legal avenues are open to him then?
So as far as I know, I spoke with Mr. Sumandiran, who is his lawyer, and he did mention that they are going to appeal. I did not talk to me in detail how the system is, because he's not supposed to. And so I hope that Ranjan Ramanayaka's appeal will be
Talking about the legal system as a whole, are you unhappy with the general ambience where it appears to be that justice is not always seen to be done?
especially
because of the delays and so on.
No, especially, yes, one part is the delay, I agree. And I believe that there should be more judges, more courts where that the whole process will be fast-tracked. However, the other factor is that we all need free, fair, impartial judiciary system. However, with the 20th Amendment, I think, we can't expect that 100%. Unfortunately, I believe that, one single person appointing the judges of this country is not going to make it.
It's unhelpful. Right, so now tell me this then. Some people say, when I listen to them in the coffee shops and wherever, when you hear them talking, they sort of blame this whole thing, this predicament, if you can call it that this country has on its hand now, with this 20th Amendment and so on. They blame this entire situation on the United National Party and the administration, the joint administration between the UNP and President Sirisena, because clearly there was a certain lax attitude in terms of national security, and very, very, very sadly and unfortunately we had the Easter bombings. So how responsible do you think, or irresponsible was that?
Today I took part in the parliamentary debate where we were discussing on the Easter bomb attack Presidential Commission report. I spoke a few words as well, and we have to take full responsibility in that unfortunate incident. I can remember 2 years ago on the 21st of April I was at Attanagalla Rajamahavihara. I was having a free medical clinic, and early in the morning I got this message and I went to Katuvapitiya church. And I saw this unfortunate incident where so many lives were taken. And yes, I think every single person who was responsible in not stopping this incident by not taking proper action, they should be we have to take action against them. But however, I believe we have been waiting for 1.5 years, especially after the parliamentary election and way before the presidential election. So it has been almost 1.5 years. However, we still have not seen who the actual people responsible, the mastermind, the people who
They
are
say that the
responsible.
mastermind is named. They named some chap, some Maulavi.
Yes.
Whatever his
But as far as all the information that we have got, and looking at even the presidential report.
Archana, can I interject and ask you, at what point are the people going to start accepting the information that's coming out of the government? you're saying this because you don't like that information, but what can the government do if it is fact?
No, I don't. According to what we can do is, with the limited information that we have got, we have to make our judgments.
Yes, but if your judgment is indicating away from the named mastermind, why don't you all name whom you all think is the mastermind?
No, we don't have that authority to do it.
Not authority, you can make a statement.
No, we can make a statement that we don't believe that this particular person who was named as the mastermind.
But then if you don't supply the other name, the other
that's
side,
the duty of the government.
Yes, but the public may think that you're just saying it for the sake of saying it.
So, I mean,
there's always that danger.
No, that is always there, but however, I don't think even the people believe that this particular person is the mastermind, because according to the government, according to during the presidential election, during the parliamentary election, in each and every stage, they were talking about the public security, they were talking about the Easter bomb attack, and how they are going to find out who the mastermind and the culprits of that bombing. But unfortunately, it does not happen. We have such a capable police authority. However, when politics is involved, when politicians interfere, these authorities are always unable to tell the truth. That's what we have seen. Otherwise they find who the culprits are in most cases. But in this case, it's been 1.5 years. Why is such a long delay? I believe that it's such a issue that if we need international support, international organization support. In the previous past, it has happened where Scotland Yard has come and helped authorities to find certain issues.
So let me get this right. So this military and intelligence establishment that brought an end to the world's most terrifying terror organization, RTT, and all that business, they can't get to the bottom of this. So for this we need international intervention.
That's why I say we have such a capable authority, police department. However,
but are they independent?
When politics, when there's influence, unfortunately they are not being able to carry out their work. So I believe that is the reason it has taken this long. Therefore, I think we should even have an international organization. I'm not trying to say that our authorities are incapable. I'm saying that it's good to have such expertise coming and helping organizations, because we really need to know who's behind. We need to know who are they still out. Killing almost 300 people and so many hundreds of people being injured. So we have to, for the sake of them, we have to find out what really happened.
The truth,
and also for it to not happen again. So why take all this time? 1.5 years is a long time, and I'm 100% sure that it's been delayed because political reasons.
What
I believe so.
What is the political reason?
I mean, I don't know. I believe that some.
You can be upfront and open. This is Newsline.
No, I can be, but it's not easy when I have to go and.
Well, if it's fair public comment, anything is possible.
No, who got the advantage of this Easter attack? It's the current government, and
Okay.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of people believe that you know, there might be the same people who wanted this government to come to power were behind even the East attack. I mean, a lot of people think so. So I mean,
But it appears to be devoid of facts.
no, I mean, this is what people talk about. This is what people talk about. So the people talk about this simply because the truth is not being told. The investigations are still not finalized. Investigations are delayed. You know, it has been taking over 1.5 years. So it's almost 2 years for this 21st of April. So people believe that, you know, there has to be some political reason why the investigations are not finalized yet. So, I mean, we urge this government, because they came to power by selling the Easter bomb attack. For each and every stage in their campaign, they were talking about this. And it's very, very unfortunate.
You're talking about the security situation.
Security system, 100%, you're right. But, you know, it's sad that we have not been able to you know, finish these investigations, and after all, it's almost 2 years for the next 21st of April.
But when you look at the whole legal process in recent times, are you in a sort of negative mode, because we saw the release of the army person, I think Sergeant Ratnaka, who was convicted in every single court of making a unlawful killing, and that person was pardoned or released. That's one thing, but there are lots of other matters like that.
Absolutely, but especially the bribery commission that put so many cases.
You know, some of those matters are rather unhelpful when the basic system hasn't been followed. When you want 3 signatures, you only stick 2 in, and you shouldn't be bringing it to court then. You should be shut down long before you turn up in court.
So that's a problem that I have. How come a such a authority like the bribery
That was done
commission?
in your parliament.
No, it doesn't matter which government. I mean,
same officials.
those officials have a duty to do that, right? So it's not there's no ministry in charge of bribery and commission or anything like that. It's the officials who have to do their work in the right manner. So how come these cases have been in the courts for so long, and only after this government changed, these cases are, for technical reason or for whatever reason, are being dismissed? So yes, I do have a problem with these things.
Does that worry you?
It does. So I believe that there's a huge threat for free, fair judiciary system. So, I mean, we can see it, right? You know, when this government changed, all these cases are being dismissed due to a technical reason or something or the other. So, I mean, it's not, the 20th Amendment is not helping this matter at all. So I believe, you know,
we had such responsible members of Parliament who crossed over or supported the 20th Amendment, and these were all theatrics, and they were not delivering what is best for the people. And so, what is the sense of their responsibility in these events? It's no good just blaming the government of the day when the opposition appears to have given them a walkover.
Of course, they got the 2/3 because of 6 or 7 members from the opposition who supported the 20th Amendment. And yeah, it's unfortunate that some of our members would just go against the people who voted for you.
When you see the trajectory apparently changing, the dynamics changing, and do you sense a sense of change on the horizon? So that do you see your fortunes, your party fortunes changing?
Of course, I believe this government, this president and this government, I don't think that there has been a single president or a government that has got unpopular at this rate. I mean, a lot of people had very high expectations when this president was elected.
So your party is going to capitalize on that?
100%. And I believe that the alternative is Sajid Premdasa, Samaga Jana Balawega, led by our leader, Sajid Premdasa.
Do you think the government will actually have the nerve to call elections, the provincial councils? Remember that the Apalanese also didn't have it.
Yes.
So, do you think they'll do the same?
I don't know. But by what we see, I believe that there's a part of this government who's for provincial council, and a part totally against the provincial council.
It's all very confusing then,
It is. So it's a decision that this government has to make. And also,
are you a betting man? Would you like to wage a bet and put a place and say, look, 50% chance or 60%, 70% chance of having the provincial?
There's a lot of pressure from India as well, as far as I can see. But I believe that there should be a stance by this government, but without, at the moment, they don't seem to be thinking of having the election or not having the election.
Although the president did ask for it to be held as soon as possible.
Yes, that's what we hear, but I don't know whether that's the absolute motive of his plan.
Okay. Well, Harshana Rajakarna, thank you very much for being on Newsline Live.
Thank you.
We need to now go and have a look at the what's in store for the primetime news and look at the headlines. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching. Take care. Great evening ahead of you. And as always, God bless you.